Hi everyone. Um, I am Carla. I'm a pediatric sleep consultant. I'm here for the next half an hour to answer your questions about baby sleep. So fire away, and we'll try and get through as many as we can. I'll wait for a few more of you to join, and then we can begin. But if you just type questions into the comment box, and I will get answering. Hi Laura. Here we go. Let's begin. So my daughter's 18 months old and started sleeping 7:30 to 6 a.m. before lockdown, but now she doesn't sleep longer than 4 hours at a time. Can anyone give me advice on things to help her sleep longer? I feel like I've tried everything. She just hates sleep right now. So would want to know, what is she doing in the daytime? So is she getting enough sleep in the day? Is she getting a lunchtime nap? Ideally about 2 hours, up to 2 hours, maybe it might be 1.5 to 2 hours. And how is she going down to sleep as well? So is she going down independently? Because if she's not going down independently, it's more likely that she's going to wake up. And if she does wake up, it's how you respond to her and how you consistently respond to her. So you need to teach her to fall back to sleep herself. So don't assist her, but be there to comfort her and support her. Uh, Hello, first time mum here looking for advice at getting my little one, who is 7 weeks old, to nap in his cot during the day. So far, he will nap during the day for short bursts, 20 minutes at a time, in the front room on a blanket or his mat. We try to move him into his cot and he wakes up for 2 minutes screaming. He will nap during the day quite happily on myself or my partner. I'm just worried we're going to get into bad habits and it will be hard to break this routine. So, as he's only 7 weeks old, don't stress. If it makes your life easier, do some of the naps in his carrier, absolutely fine. So whether that's in the pram, or just on you when you're going out walking, whatever makes your life easier, because 7 weeks old, it's very young still. Obviously, you can try getting him down in his cot if you just put him down quite drowsy in his cot and settle him from the side, but I won't stress too much at 7 weeks old. But just also make sure you're getting him down at the right time. So at 7 weeks, you're looking at about 1 hour 15 wake windows. So that's from last nap to the next nap. Aim to have him down then, and aim for about 4+ naps in the day, totaling about 5 hours, and just work to that. Don't stress, he's only young, um, but he'll start learning to take longer naps. And if you just also, you can start doing wind down routines as well, really young as well, when they're young, just to practice. So just make it really just quiet time and then put him down. I have a 7 week old little girl, and during the day, only when napping, she would start crying, screaming in her sleep. I'm unsure what causes this, and even when picking her up, she still has her eyes closed, and it's not until I have her in an upright position she opens her eyes. So they do make a lot of noise in their sleep, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. And if she's just making noises, like crying noises, it's totally normal if she's not stressed. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. She's very young. Um, our baby's meant to be really fidgety when sleeping. My 5 month old has always been fidgety. She always suck her thumb, lift her legs up, and drop them back down for the majority of her sleep. It doesn't wake her up, and she can still sleep 6 to 8 hours before waking. Absolutely fine. They are fidgety. If it's not waking them up, then absolutely fine. Leave them. Her sucking her thumb is it's her way of comforting herself. So Absolutely fine. You'd rather she used her thumb than wanting to use you. So if that, she's never going to lose her thumb. So as a sleep prop, it's absolutely fine. And moving around is absolutely fine. My 22-month-old keeps headbutting the floor when angry. Any ideas? That's not, I wouldn't want to get into that in terms of on the butting the floor. I specialize in sleep. So I probably wouldn't want to give advice on anything to do with non-sleep related things. My 15-month-old son was sleeping great in his own bed up until a week ago. He slept between 8 and 10 hours in his own bed. He started childminders last Thursday and Friday, and since then he hasn't slept in his own bed and become really clingy to me. He used to have a bottle in bed and then go to sleep pretty much straight after. Now he has a bottle and automatically wants to stand up and come out. He cries for a while before I put him in our bed. Is there anything you can suggest to help him settle back with his old routine? We have a baby on the way, possibly due next weekend. So I would suggest something like a gradual retreat approach. So start by being really close to the cot and gradually get a little bit further away every few nights, supporting him, and then until you're out the room. It's all been a very strange time right now with everything going on. So him starting childminders after being with you for so long, it can really mess with their heads. So yeah, give him the support, but just gradually move further away from the cot. I'm going back to work in 1 month. My daughter, 11 months old, doesn't get any sleep day or night unless breastfed. She does not sleep otherwise. She refuses the dummies. I'm afraid without me, she will not sleep all day. Help, please. So you just simply need to use a really gentle technique to get her used to sleeping without you. So that means you can use a method where you're in the room and try and not feed her to sleep. As simple as that. Use other settling approaches, and she will get used to it. It just takes time to practice, and just make sure that she's having about 2 naps in the day. About in terms of wake times, 4 to 5 hours in between the naps. Um, and in terms of maximum day sleep, aim for about 2.5 hours, and that's how you should structure your day. But yeah, use, as I said before to someone else there, but using a, if she's really attached to you, use a gradual retreat approach. So start right by the side of her cot, comforting her, and then just move a little bit further away. If you need some help, I can work with you. So if you want to get in touch after, we can get her sleeping. Uh, My little girl is 8 weeks old this week, and we've been told to start looking at putting her into routine on an evening, but her feeds and moods are different every day, so it doesn't seem possible. I was wondering what age to start a routine with baby. Also, what age they're sleeping for longer periods of time and during the day. Okay, so 8 weeks. I wouldn't say you can't. It's really hard to get them on a set schedule. So 9 o'clock this thing, 10 o'clock, because simply they're not developed enough to do that. Their bodies aren't developed enough. So you can work to wake times and watching their sleepy cues. So look out for when they start getting tired. But I do, so at 8 weeks, you're looking at about 1 hour 15 around that time. Start watching to see if they're rubbing their eyes, yawning, and then get them down before that tiredness hits. And that is as much as you can do at that age as in terms of a routine. And you're aiming for about 4+ naps, with about 5 hours in the day sleep. And that's how you structure your day. Don't worry about timings because one nap could be shorter than the other, and they're at their age. They're not developed enough to consolidate their naps. Um, my 2-month-old has a cold. Any tips on how to treat it? I'm not a doctor. I can only advise on sleep. In terms of sleep, when they've got a cold, give them extra support and comfort that they're needing. But I can't comment on anything medical related. Got any other questions? Here we go. Okay, so how can I get my baby to sleep in hermoses basket? She's 3 weeks old, 3 weeks, and only sleeps on us. I'm exhausted. 3 weeks is so young, and um, don't stress that she's sleeping on you. What you can do is practice putting her down drowsy in hermoses basket. Put her down drowsy but slightly awake, and you can work on getting her a little bit more awake. But at 3 weeks, just if you want to put some white noise on, make the room darker, and just it's all just practice at this age, and it's important to work out when is the right time to get her down. So at 3 weeks, you're looking about 45 minutes to every hour to get her down, and you're going to find that she settles a lot better if you get her down at the right time. So watch for those sleepy cues and look out for that wait window. So roughly about 45 minutes to an hour, and get her down. 5 to 6 hours sleep in the day across 4+ naps, depending how long each nap goes. But that's how you would structure your day, and that's how you would get her settling. It's just practice at this age. I wouldn't stress yourself out. And if you want to take her out in the pram at 3 weeks old to get her sleeping, absolutely don't drive yourself mad. My baby is 8 months old and keeps waking every night and is awake for hours. She has 2 naps a day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, both for over an hour. I'm not sure what to do. So she's having 2 naps in a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. So she's getting 2 hours. So you're a bit short in sleep. So she just needs probably a little bit extra. And how is she falling asleep? That's what I'd want to know. Is she settling herself, or are you assisting her to sleep? Because if you're assisting her to sleep, she's probably going to wake up, because when she wakes up, she's expecting whatever you did to put her to sleep to still be there. So work on self-settling. My little girl's 4.5 months old, and now she is currently in the carry cot and is okay for the moment. She will soon be too big for it. Plus, she's fine when she's asleep, but gets frustrated when she's awake. Like she wants to see what's going on. I was wondering if she'd be okay in the pushchair. It states on the website the pushchair is from 6 months. Spot her own head easy. I think I'm going to leave this question because I think you need something expert on the pushchair. Let me. I might come back to that one. When should I move my son into his own room? He makes a lot of noise at night and keeps us up awake. He is 4 months old and his nursery is right next to our room. So the Lullaby Trust, which is the safe sleep, they give the safe sleep advice. So they suggest 6 months to reduce the risk of SIDS. It's ultimately your choice when you want to move them, but they suggest 6 months. If you want to move them at 4 months, it's not illegal. It's totally your shout. But have a look at the Lullaby Trust to get more information about safe sleep. Okay, do you have any tips on getting rid of the dummy? My daughter is one and uses it to fall asleep. I'm worried that she's totally dependent on it. So the best way to get rid of the dummy is to go cold turkey. You can try and do it gradually, but ultimately it's much better if you just get rid of it, because yeah, you might have a couple of rough nights, but ultimately they'll forget about it eventually. So that means don't give it to them in the day and don't give them to at night. So once you've got rid of it, get rid of it. And it really won't be that. It's I think sometimes more the parent. It's like than the child. They'll start them. They might at the beginning find it more difficult to fall asleep because they've been so used to it, but they'll learn. Do you have any tips on self-settling? My 9-month-old still won't do this and wants cuddled rock to sleep because of this. She's waking in the night 6 out of 7 nights, sometimes more than once a night. So tips on self-settling. Self-settling, there are tons and tons of different approaches that you can use. Ultimately, you can either choose to be in the room or you can choose to be out the room. That's the first thing you need to decide. And it depends on A, the parent, and B, your child's personality. Are they quite clingy or do they not want to be touched? So it really just depends on what you want to do. And then use a method that you're happy with. So whether that is returning to the room at short intervals and offering them support, or doing something more like a gradual retreat approach where you stay by the cot, offer them reassurance, and then gradually move further and further. Um, the key with teaching them self-settling is being consistent, and that's through the night, at bedtime, during nap time, and they'll just catch on. But it's also about making sure you're giving them the sleep at the right time when you're trying to teach them, because if they're overtired or equally undertired, they're going to struggle. It's just like as adults, if we're not tired, we're not going to struggle to fall asleep. And even if we're overtired, it's really hard to fall asleep. So if you're looking at a 9-month-old, you're looking at about 3.5 hour wake time in between sleep, and you're looking at about 3 hours total day sleep across 2 naps. So make sure that's all in place, and then choose a settling approach that you're wanting to use. Make sure the room is pitch black as well when you're teaching them self-settling. If you want to use white noise, use white noise. If you don't. It's totally a personal preference. And it's about being consistent on the approach that you are using. Um, My baby is 19 weeks old. Once he is asleep, he sleeps really well from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. But getting him to sleep, especially during the day, is a really stressful task. Even though he's clearly tired, he screams for about 15 minutes until he's asleep. But if we leave him to get more sleepy, he gets really grumpy. We've tried getting him to sleep in various different ways: dummy, pram, bouncer cot, cuddles, but none help. Any advice on what we can do to help him get sleep without crying would be great. So because he's coming up to about 5 months, so he's 4 months. He I would say if he's really crying, it sounds like you're missing that wake window when you should be getting him down. So aim for wake times about 2 hours, and then also just make sure he's getting the right amount of sleep in the day. So maximum 4 hours. Some kids only need about 3 hours 45, but maximum day sleep of 4 hours across 3 to 4 naps. And get him down. That usually the reason that they're going to be crying hard is because they're just overtired and frustrated. Make sure you get him down at the right time. And when you said he sleeps really well from 10 p.m., that's a very late bedtime for a child. You're wanting something more around 7 o'clock. So try and get him down to bed earlier. Hi, my son is 9 months old today and has not slept a night through since birth. The longest he sleeps is for 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 if we're on the road. Any advice is what I can do in terms of getting him to sleep through? Sounds like he doesn't know how to put himself to sleep. And once you manage to teach him to self-settle and get himself to sleep, he will start sleeping a lot better. So use an approach that you're happy with using and follow it through for a couple of weeks to teach him. And also, as I said, with 9 months old, you're looking at wake time about 3.5 hours, and then get him down for his naps across 2 naps. And also make sure that he's not having more than 3 hours sleep in the day. You don't want too much day sleep to interfere with night sleep. Barbara, thank you, Carla. I've tried already everything. How can I keep in contact with you for any help? So Barbara, best thing to do is drop me an email. So carla@snoozetots.com, and I'll get in touch with you. I'll give you a call, or just follow me on Instagram and drop me a message on Instagram or my Facebook. And I'll talk you through how I can help. Got any other questions? Any other questions, guys? We've flown through those ones. Go on, guys, fire away. Give it a few more minutes, see if anyone has any other questions. Or if I've answered something and you want some clarification, then just let me know as well. No? Yolan, thank you. Can I ask, is it natural for babies not to ever sleep through? So at 9 months, Yolan, it's I would say that they should be able to sleep through. They shouldn't be needing a feed if there's no health issues. They shouldn't be needing a feed at night, and they're very capable of sleeping through the night. So yeah, so they all have the capability of sleeping. Yeah, they might have an occasional wake up, but they should be able to get themselves back to sleep. They have the skills to do it. It's just a learned skill to fall asleep themselves, so that when they wake, nothing's different from when they fell asleep, and they can put themselves back to sleep and not cry out for you. Any other questions? No? Laura, should we leave it there? There's no other questions? Perfect. All right then. So guys, thanks for listening. And if you have any other questions, I do this every other week, so come and join if you think of something you want to ask. Um, I'm doing this every other week, so I will be there. If you need to get in touch directly, then obviously through my Facebook or via Instagram or through my website, Instagram snooze_tots, and basically with snooze tots, you've got that here, and my website is snoozetots.com. And yeah, just get in touch if you want to speak to me more one-on-one. We'll give it one more minute though, because more people have joined. So let's just see if there's more questions that come through. Okay, no worries. Well, enjoy the rest of your days, guys, and I'll see you not next week, the week after. If you've got any other questions. Thanks. Bye.